Wherever you are right now, take a moment. You don't have to do anything with this space yet. You don't have to feel a certain way. You don't have to be ready. If you're lying down, that's good. If you're sitting, that's good too. Whatever position your body found its way into, it was enough to bring you here. And here is a safe place. Notice for a moment the surface behind you, the chair, the bed, the wall, the floor. Whatever is there, it's solid. It was there before you arrived, and it has been holding you even before you thought to let it. See if there's any part of your back that hasn't fully made contact with that surface yet. No need to force anything. And if your body wants to, it can lean back a little more. Not because you should, because you can, because something solid is already there. Your shoulders, notice where they are right now. For a lot of us, they've been held forward, held up, held in a kind of readiness we didn't even decide to carry today. If they want to drop even a little, let them. There's nothing you need to brace for right now. See if your next breath comes on its own. Not a deep breath, not a performed breath. Your body knows how to breathe. It has been doing it without your help this whole time. Let it. You're here. And you don't have to be anything in this space. You don't have to be strong here. You don't have to hold anything together. This space is not asking anything of you. If you came here tired, you're welcome here. If you came here not even sure what you need, you're welcome here. If you came here because something in you needed to hear that it was okay to stop, even for a little while, you're in the right place. We're going to take this slowly. There's no rush here, no place we need to get to quickly. This time belongs to you, and I'm glad you're here. I want to speak to something specific today, something that doesn't always have a name. It's a kind of tiredness that doesn't go away with sleep. It's the tiredness of always being the one who holds things together, the one who keeps it moving, the one who knows what needs to happen next, the one people call when things fall apart, the one who is always fine. And on the outside, you are fine. You are capable. You are dependable. You show up. But there is something underneath that, something that has been underneath that for a long time. A weariness that lives in the body, in the tightness behind your eyes, in the place in your chest that never quite releases, in the jaw you clench without realizing, in the shoulders that were already braced before you got out of bed this morning. Your body has been working very hard, not just today, for years maybe. And here is what I want to name, gently and carefully, because I think part of you already knows this. The strength that everyone sees in you. It costs something. It costs something every single day. There is the version of you that the one who handles it, the one who doesn't need much, the one who figures it out. And then there is the version of you that exists in the quiet, the one who is so tired of figuring it out, the one who has wondered, maybe more than once, what it would feel like if someone just took care of it for a change, took care of you for a change. And maybe even that thought brought guilt with it, because you are not supposed to need that, because other people have it harder, because you should be grateful, because wanting to be held feels selfish when you are the one who does the holding. I want to sit with that for a moment. That guilt, that specific, quiet guilt of having needs when you have spent so long being the one who meets them. You were never taught that your needs mattered as much as your usefulness. Maybe no one said that out loud. Maybe no one had to. It was in who got taken care of and who did the taking care. It was in what got praised, your competence, your composure, your ability to cope. It was in what got ignored, your exhaustion, your fear, your longing to be seen as something more than capable. And so you learned. You learned to lead with strength. You learned to need less. You learned to be the surface other people leaned on, and you stopped expecting anything to hold you. That is not a character flaw. That is what you were taught. And it has been so long, that you may not even know anymore what it feels like to be on the receiving end. Someone offers to help and something in you pulls back. Someone asks if you're okay and you say yes before you've even checked. Someone tries to take something off your plate and you find a reason to keep carrying it. Not because you want to, because receiving feels unfamiliar, because somewhere along the way being taken care of started to feel like a risk. And rest, real rest, feels like something you haven't earned yet. Like there is still something you need to finish first, still something you need to fix, still someone you need to make sure is okay before you are allowed to stop. I want you to know I see that. Not just what you carry, but what it has cost you to carry it. The loneliness of always being fine, the invisibility of being the strong one, the grief, and it is a grief of watching other people receive what you have never let yourself want. You are not too much. You are not weak for being here. You are not failing by being tired. You are someone who has been holding on for a very long time, and this space right now is for you. I want to stay with you here for a moment before we move anywhere, because there is something important to say about where all of this came from. The strength, the self-reliance, the inability to receive. It did not come from nowhere. And it is not a flaw in you. At some point in your life, maybe very early, you were in an environment where softness was not safe. Maybe the home you grew up in needed you to be older than you were. Maybe there was a parent who was absent, not always physically, but emotionally. Someone who could not show up for you in the way a child needs to be shown up for. Or maybe you learned it in a relationship. Someone who took your vulnerability and used it. Someone who made you feel foolish for trusting. Someone who made softness feel like a liability. Or maybe it was slower than that. Maybe it was a long accumulation of reaching out and finding nothing there, of hoping and being disappointed, of needing and learning quietly that the need would not be met. And so your body made a decision. Not a conscious one, not a decision you sat down and made one afternoon. Your body simply learned. Stay upright, stay useful, stay in control. Because when you are strong, you cannot be hurt by the absence of someone else's strength. When you do not need, you cannot be failed. That was not weakness, that was intelligence. That was your body and your heart working together to protect you with the only tools they had. And for a long time it worked. It kept you moving, it kept you functioning, it kept you safe in environments that were not safe. I want you to hear that. The strength was not a mistake. It was love. Even a kind of love you gave yourself when no one else knew how. But here is what I also want you to hear. The strategy that protected you then is still running now. Even when the danger has passed, even when you are somewhere safer, even when there are people around you who genuinely want to help, the body remembers, and it keeps bracing. It keeps holding. It keeps you at a careful distance from anything that looks like dependence. Because it doesn't know yet that things have changed. That tension in your chest, that vigilance that never fully lifts, that reflexive "I'm fine," that is not a malfunction. That is a faithful record of everything your body lived through, and it deserves compassion, not frustration. Not another demand to do better, be more, open up faster. Compassion. There's a passage in the book of Hosea, and it is one of the most tender things I have ever read about how God sees his people. He says, I led them with cords of kindness, with ties of love. I lifted the yoke from their neck and bent down to feed them. I want you to sit with that image for a moment. He sees the yoke, not as a symbol, not as a theological concept. He sees the specific weight on the specific neck of someone he loves. And he does not say, you should not have been wearing that. He does not say, why did you let it get so heavy? He says, I lift it. Not I am working on it. Not I will lift it when you are ready. I lift it. That is already decided. You did not put that yoke on yourself. It was placed on you by circumstances, by people, by a world that needed more from you than it had any right to ask. And you carried it. You carried it faithfully. You carried it without being asked if you were willing, without being told how long, without anyone stopping to check whether it was crushing you. And God sees that. Not with disappointment, not with a list of corrections, with the kind of tenderness you bend down with when someone you love has been carrying something far too heavy for far too long. He sees the yoke, and he lifts it. That is already decided. You don't have to keep earning the right to put it down. You never did. I want to talk about rest for a moment. Not sleep, not a vacation, not the kind of rest you have to earn by finishing everything first. A different kind of rest. The kind that is available to you right now, in this body, in this moment, as you are, because I know what happens when the word rest gets offered to someone like you. Something in you hears it and immediately starts calculating what still needs to be done, who still needs you, what will fall apart if you stop holding it together for even a little while. And underneath that, something quieter, something that has been there a long time. The feeling that rest is not really for you, that it is for people who have done enough, people who have earned it, people who are not behind on all the things you are behind on. And maybe, if you have been honest with yourself in the dark, you have wondered whether God feels that way too. Whether he is also waiting for you to get it together before he really shows up for you. Whether his tenderness is something you have to qualify for. Whether the version of you that is tired and fraying is a disappointment to him. I want to speak directly to that. That is not who he is. There is a moment in the book of Matthew, and Jesus is speaking, and the people listening to him are not the put-together ones. They are the exhausted ones, the ones the religious systems of their day had loaded down with requirements and found wanting. And he says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." I want you to notice what he does not say. He does not say, "Come to me when you have rested enough to be present." He does not say, "Come to me when you have sorted yourself out." He does not say, "Come to me when you are no longer weary." He says, "Come because you are weary." The weariness is not the disqualifier. The weariness is the invitation. You, tired, fraying, not sure how much longer you can hold this. You are exactly who he is speaking to. And I want to bring you back to the surface behind you. Feel it again. That solid thing that has been holding you this entire time. This is what I want you to consider, not as a theological argument, not as something you have to believe perfectly right now, as a possibility your body might be willing to try. What if that is what he is? not a presence that requires you to hold yourself upright, not a God you have to perform for, not someone keeping a careful record of how much you have needed and how little you have given back, but a surface, something solid, something that was there before you arrived. Something that does not shift when you put your full weight on it. Let your shoulders drop a little more, not because I'm telling you to, because there is something behind you that can hold them. You have been holding yourself upright for so long, and He has been here the whole time saying, you can lean back, you can lean back. Not because you have earned it, not because you have finally become someone who deserves to rest. Because He is solid, and that has never been about your strength. I'd like to pray with you now. And I want to say something before we begin. You don't have to feel anything in particular during this prayer. You don't have to manufacture emotion. You don't have to perform openness. If you feel something, that's okay. If you feel nothing, that's okay too. Let the words wash over you. Let them do whatever they do. And if there is a phrase that lands somewhere in your body, in your chest, in your throat, behind your eyes, you're allowed to stay there. You don't have to keep moving. Let's take one slow breath together. Not forced. Whatever breath wants to come. We come to you, and I want to say that carefully. We come to you not with a performance, not with the version of ourselves we have prepared for public consumption. We come the way we are, right now, tired, held together with things that are starting to fray, wearing a kind of strength that was never supposed to be permanent, but somehow became the only thing we know how to wear. You see her, the woman listening to this right now. You see what she carries, not as a list, not as a ledger. You see it the way someone sees a weight on the back of a person they love and immediately wants to lift it. You see the years of it, the accumulated weight of being the one everyone else leans on. The decisions she made alone, the nights she held herself together because there was no one else to do it, the moments in the car, in the bathroom, in the middle of the night, when she finally let herself feel how tired she was, and then got up the next morning and kept going. You saw every one of those moments, and you were not disappointed. You were not waiting for her to need less. You were not grading her composure. You were there. Closer than she knew. Closer than she could feel. There is something I want to pray into very gently. For some of the women here, the people who were supposed to show them what it felt like to be held, could not do that. Maybe they were absent. Maybe they were present in body, but somewhere far away in every way that mattered. Maybe they meant well, and still left a gap that a child should never have had to learn to live around. And that gap, that early wordless lesson that she could not rely on the people who were supposed to hold her, it shaped everything. It shaped how she moves through relationships. It shaped how she receives care. It shaped how she stands before you, braced, a little uncertain whether you will be there when she actually needs you. And into that specific, quiet wound, I want to place these words. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me. Receive? Not tolerate, not manage from a distance, not wait for her to get herself together and then acknowledge her. Receive, the way you receive someone you have been waiting for, the way you move toward them, the way your whole posture changes because they are here. They are finally here. And you want them to know they are wanted. That is what he does when she comes to him. He receives her, not the strong version of her, not the version that has it together. Her, the tired one, the one who doesn't know how to receive this yet. The one who is a little afraid that if she lets herself believe it, she will be disappointed again. He receives her too. Stay here for a moment. You don't have to do anything with this. You don't have to feel it fully right now. Let it be something that is true, even if it doesn't feel true yet. He receives you. He receives you. I want to stay in this prayer with you, and I want to move very slowly here, because what I'd like to invite you into next is something that may feel unfamiliar. It may even feel a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. Discomfort doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It may mean you're doing it for the very first time. I want to invite you not to fix anything, not to resolve anything, not to come out of this prayer with a plan. I want to invite you to lay something down, not forever. Not in a way that means you will never pick it up again. Here, in this prayer, in this moment, set it down. And I want to ask you something gently. What is it that you are holding right now? Not in your hands, in that place in your chest. The thing that woke you up at 2 a.m. The situation that has no good answer. The person you love who is making choices you cannot control and cannot stop worrying about. The version of your life you are still trying to hold together even as it changes shape beneath your hands. The exhaustion you have been calling fine. You don't have to name it out loud. God already knows what it is. He knew before you sat down here. He knew before you found this video. He knew before you woke up this morning with that weight already on you. Father, she is holding so much. Things she was never meant to carry alone. Things that were placed on her without her permission. Things she picked up because no one else was going to, and she could not bear to watch them fall. She has been so faithful with what she was given, and she is tired. Not weak, not failing, tired, the way anyone is tired who has been strong for longer than one person was ever meant to be strong. And so I want to pray something over every woman listening right now. I want to pray that something in her, something deep, something that has been holding on for a very long time, would feel in this moment that it is safe to loosen. Not collapse, not disappear. Loosen. The way a hand loosens when it finally realizes it has been gripping something it was never meant to carry alone. If your hands are resting somewhere right now, notice them. Notice whether they are closed, whether they are holding their own shape the way we do when we are braced for something. And if they want to, they can open, not as a performance, not as a spiritual posture you're supposed to adopt. If it feels true in your body, now let your palms turn upward. Open hands cannot grip, and what we cannot grip, we are allowing to be held by something other than us. Father, what she is carrying, the worry, the weariness, the weight of other people's pain, the grief she has not had time to feel, the anger she has not let herself have, the longing to be seen by someone who will not leave, receive it. The way you receive her, moving toward it, not away. Not asking her to resolve it first, not asking her to make it smaller or more manageable or less inconvenient. Receive it, and let her feel, even faintly, even the edge of it, what it is like to not be the only one holding this. She does not have to have it all together to be loved by you. She does not have to be strong to be valuable to you. She does not have to keep carrying what you have already said you would carry for her. Let that be true for her today, not as information, as something she feels here in her chest, in her open hands, in the weight of her body resting against the surface behind her. She is not alone in this. She has never been alone in this. We're going to slow down even more now. If your eyes aren't already closed, they can close. And feel one more time that surface behind you. The solid thing, the thing that does not shift when you put your weight on it. Let your body settle into it a little more fully. Not because you are performing rest, because it's there, because it has been there this whole time, because you have earned nothing and you need nothing, and it holds you anyway. This is what I want to pray over you now. Not a prayer that asks for things, not a prayer that is going somewhere. A prayer that stays. Father, she is here, and I want to say something you already know, but that she may need to hear as if it is being said for the first time. You have seen every moment she held herself together alone. Every morning she got up when she did not know how she was going to get up. Every night she lay in the dark carrying things that had no resolution. Every time she smiled when she was hollowed out. Every time she said, "I'm fine," and meant, "I am so far from fine and I don't know how to let anyone see that." You saw her. You were not on the other side of a wall she needed to break down before you could reach her. You were already there. In the car, in the bathroom, in the 2 a.m. silence, already there, already close. And I want to pray something over the part of her that learned very early that she could only rely on herself. The part that is still waiting for the other shoe to drop. The part that receives kindness with one hand and holds the other hand back, just in case. The part that finds it almost impossible to believe that she is loved not for what she does, but for who she is. Father, would you reach that part of her today? Not with a demand that she open faster, not with a theology she has to understand first, with cords of kindness. The way you have always moved toward her, gently, without overwhelm, without requiring anything of her she is not yet able to give. Let her feel, even if she cannot explain it, that she is being held right now, not metaphorically, here, in this body, in this moment. The weight of her fully received by something that does not strain under it, something that was built for this, something that has been saying for longer than she knows, you can lean back. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. Not in this moment. The strength that kept you safe, God sees it. He honors it. He does not ask you to pretend it wasn't necessary, but He is saying something to you today. Something He has been saying for a long time. You were never meant to do this alone. The yoke was never supposed to be yours to carry forever. The holding was never supposed to be only yours, and you are allowed right now, in this moment, in this body, to let something else hold you. Daughter, you are safe here. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to understand it fully. You don't have to feel it perfectly to let it be true. You are held right now as you are. The tired version of you, the fraying version of you, the version of you that still isn't sure she deserves this. She is held. Stay here as long as you need. There is no rush, nowhere you have to be, nothing you have to do with what you are feeling right now. You are held. We're going to come back slowly, no rush. Begin to notice the room around you again, the light, the sounds, the feeling of the surface still behind you, still there, still solid as you return. I want to say something to you before you go. What happened here today? In your body, in this prayer, it was real. Even if you don't have words for it, even if you're not sure what you feel. Even if part of you is already moving toward the next thing on your list. Something happened here, and you are allowed to carry it with you. You don't have to go back to being the strong one the moment you open your eyes. Not because the responsibilities have disappeared, not because the people who need you suddenly need you less, but because something has shifted even slightly in what you know about who is holding you while you hold everything else. You are not alone in this. You were not alone in it before today, and you will not be alone in it when this video ends and the quiet returns and asks you again to be strong. The surface is still there. It does not require this video to be playing to hold you. It held you before you found this, and it will hold you after. If something in this prayer opened a door you have been standing outside of for a long time, there's a book in the description. Daughter, you're safe now. It was written for women who are ready to go deeper into this. It will be there whenever you are ready. And if you're not ready for that, that's okay too. This was enough. You being here was enough. Come back whenever you need to. This space will be here, and so will he. Take one more breath. Not a performed breath, not a deep breath. Whatever breath your body wants to take right now, let it. You are held. You are not alone, and you never have to earn either of those things. Go gently, and know wherever you go from here, you are still held.